Hello everyone, Matt from Model Minute here and welcome back to the workbench for another unboxing. As you can see, today I'm taking a look at the Airfix Club offering for 2025. So without any further ado, I think we should just get stuck into this one. So we've seen the Airfix red boxing for the club. I think 2020 was like the first year they introduced it, and it's like a box full of goodies. And on the back, it's just got some social media stuff. Other than that, it's just a box that contains all of the bits and pieces that you get if you sign up to the Airfix Club. So let's get this one open and see what we have in here. So I'm just going to get these things out. So our welcome letter, everyone gets a welcome letter, welcome to the club, and it just basically runs down what you should receive during the year. So in this pack, we should have our model kit, some stickers, a passport for our flying hours. I have spoken about flying hours in the past, but basically they're the coupons on the side of the box. Cut them out, keep them, stick them on your passport, send it away, and you can get more kits sort of just from buying the ones you've already got. But I'll link the video I made about that down in the description. A poster, a new keyring, compared to the old one they've had for a few years, a new pin badge, and a door hanger. Also, if you're a member of the club, you get 10% off on their website, and there is like a community area and stuff on there. So there's a little welcome letter. So what do we have then? This is our keyring, and like the previous offerings just said remove before assembly or something like that. On this one, you can see it's specific to the kit offering we've got in this set, which is the Me410A-3, and it's got German and British insignia on there. And then on this side, it says remove before assembly. So they've kept it on that side as well. But yeah, that's pretty nice. I tend to put one of these on my bag. So if I'm ever traveling, I identify mine quite quickly. So it's nice to have a slightly different version. We have our poster, this year's poster, which is a modeling checklist. So select the kit, have you organized your workspace, have you got your beverages, get started, and then what to do in the event that something goes wrong. Yeah, it's not a bad poster, probably would look better in a frame. I'm not sure if I will display that. Here I've got the 2025 badge, and you can see it is specifically for 2025. I don't remember what last year's was like, but yeah, it's a nice addition if you are up to collecting pin badges. And then the last thing I had in my box was the kit. So if that's it, and this is genuinely how I've received the box, model kit, yes. Stickers, I've not got any stickers. Flying hours passport, I haven't got a passport either. A4 poster, yes. A key ring we just saw, yes, that was that one there. And the pin badge, yes. So the door hanger is missing. So I've not received the stickers, the passport, and the door hanger. Well, isn't that interesting? So because I already knew this, because, you know, the magic of editing, I actually contacted Airfix about this. After a bit of a back and forth with customer care, it took them a little while to understand what it was I was actually missing. Despite me being as clear as I could in the email, they finally got where I was going and did actually send out the replacement things. It was a couple of weeks. It took a couple of weeks. That's partly why this video is so long in coming, is because I had to wait for Airfix to sort out this problem. So these three things were missing, but a couple of weeks later I got a little letter in the post, and in here we now have the remaining things that were missing. So we have our passport, which is just it's where you stick your tokens if you are collecting them. Interestingly, the club kits don't come with tokens on them, so they don't get a free one. And also, that's not a free token. That's just showing you where to stick them. But sadly, they don't put enough boxes on here to actually stick enough on to redeem kits that you might want. So yeah, I have used these before in the past. But yeah, what I normally do, actually, I've been doing is saving them up and I'll send them off to Models for Heroes, which is another option you can do with the coupons. We have some stickers, and these feature the current Airfix logo, which I know they updated this year, I think it was. So this is the new Airfix logo, which may be based on a slightly older one. But yeah, so there's my stickers. Don't know what I'll do with them. They look to be printed to a relatively nice quality. And then we have the door hanger. So what can we do with this one? In support of model for heroes. Look, so it does actually, they are talking to these guys. Make sure you send off your spare stuff to them. Let's talk modeling. So this is the come in, I'm free side. And then, oh, the other side is do not disturb, modeling in progress. So if you have people who like to disturb you whilst you're modeling, you can put that on your door. So yeah, a bit of a shame that it wasn't included initially in my box. And I'm not too worried personally. I probably could have lived without these items, but because it wouldn't be a fair review if I just went, oh, I don't care. I had to get them. I had to get them so I could finish off the review. It took a couple of weeks, but we got there. But it is disappointing that they weren't included to start with. So if you have any problems with missing parts, make sure you contact Airfix and get them to send stuff out to you. So now we're met with the kit. And I'm not going to do a full unboxing because I've already done an unboxing on the original release of this kit. I'm just going to have a look through and see what the differences are. But because it's a limited edition, you get one model in here, but you need to pick which one you're going to do. So we have this Messerschmitt Me410A-3 as it was in German livery before capture, because you'll notice it is the same aircraft. They've got the same tail number. It's the same plane. So after it was captured, the RAF painted it up in their own colours, but with the sort of captured and prototype yellow underside, which is probably the scheme that I would be more interested in doing. On this edge here, we've got a cartograph logo, so it's going to be they're going to have cartograph decals, which should be really nice. And we have our tooling information down here. It's a 2023 tooling. I already looked at the original tooling and I've already built the original tooling and I thought it was a really nice kit. It's a 2024 pack design, but obviously it was included in the 2025 kit, so they get things going a bit earlier on. This side has a little bit more information about well, pretty much the same information as we've seen on the previous side, as well as an item code of A73017 and some dimensions here, and it states that we have 143 parts. I'm led to believe this has different parts compared to the original boxing, because the original boxing was an A1, whereas this is an A3 variant. And over here we have some Humbrol color callouts, and apparently it's a skill level 2, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Thin edges feature the same information we've already seen. So instructions then, there's our decals. Let's have a quick look at the instructions just to have a scan through. These are, again, to the normal format from Airfix, printed in colour to make them clear. Everything pretty much seems to be the same. Bit annoying that it is folded like this, but everything so far seems to be the same as it was when I built the original kit, and I will link down below that unboxing and that build so you can see what that kit was like. Actually, it was a really nice kit to build. I found it quite enjoyable and it fit together quite well. You did get options with like your landing gear to be raised or lowered and your flaps to be raised and lowered if you wanted it. But yeah, I think here this is the difference. I don't remember the lower side on the other version having this little window. There, I think there may have been guns underneath, if I remember correctly. So those are potentially some of the changes. And we do have to cut some parts here to make things fit. So that's potentially the variant differences that we have here. Everything else looks the same. Landing gear raised or lowered. We have the option of drop tanks. I think I installed drop tanks on mine, so I might not do drop tanks. I might do these little proby things. Oh, if I'm doing B, I've got to do the little proby things. If you're doing A, it's drop tanks. Your props, your little windows here for the front of the aircraft. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't have this on the bottom of the other one. I feel like there were guns. I feel like there were extra guns. There was a weapons pack or something. Yeah, and then you come to the canopy. Incidentally, the canopy, I actually found it better to glue it together and then apply masks and then attach it to the model. So that was that. We do have information about the aircraft here, some historical information, and we do have information about the decals. Decals are pre-coloured or decals are supplied clean should you wish to undertake the overpainting of the factory code decals yourself. All right, so they've given you a choice. You can either apply the decal where it looks like it's been painted over or paint it over yourself, which is pretty interesting. So that's the first one, pre-capture. or just as it's being captured. And then there it is in a captured condition. Printed in full color, which is really good to see because that just makes life so much easier when you come to build your model. And then we have stencil information here where we need to put all the little decals, and there's lots of them by the looks of it. And that's that. So yeah, instructions, pretty good, up to the normal standard with some little minor alterations. Decals are here, printed on a reasonably small sheet for the amount of transfers that are included. And you can see, yeah, so we've got option 1 and option 2, based on how you wanted to build the kit. So yeah, you can kind of pick what you do with them. I'm probably going to do the RAF version, purely because I think it looks a little bit more interesting than doing another German version, which I've already done a German version. Yeah, decals printed by cartograph to the normal quality. Very nice, very crisp. I can't see any blemishes or problems. Yeah, so I hope they go onto the model okay, but there's an awful lot of stencils, so I'm not sure how I feel about that because they kind of drive me a bit crazy. And then we come to the parts. And as I explored in the original unboxing, I imagine this is going to be really nice because this was a 2023 tooling, and when I built it, it built up absolutely lovely. So I don't think this one will be anything different. Let's have a look inside the box, well, inside the bag. So clear sprue, then we have our clear parts. Yeah, no, they look to be pretty much the same as they were previously. There is this extra one here. I think that was actually on the frame originally. It just wasn't used, so they obviously planned this in. We have got 2 canopies here based on the variant that we're doing. I can't remember which one we needed. You'll notice there is some sort of weird texture and scuffing on that. That may be intentional because I think that's painted over, so you won't see that. And then the other sides, which make up the 3-part canopy, but they look to be molded to a pretty nice quality. Not much in the way of there are a couple of little scuffs in places, but nothing that I think would detract too much. However, I think on this one there is like a little bit of a lump or something, which detracts ever so slightly. I wonder if, there you go, you can see that just there on the plastic. A little bit disappointing, but I don't think you'll be noticing that too much. If you weren't happy, of course, contact the Airfix spares department and ask for a replacement, because that, yeah, looks like a little bit of a scratch on that. Moving on, we've got our grey plastic sprues. 1, 2, there's a little one there. 3, 4, 5, 6 in dark grey, molded to what looks to be the normal sort of standard from Airfix in their dark grey plastic that they're currently using. Details are of the raised and recessed variety. There are some subtle panel lines and rivet details in places. This looks pretty much identical to the previous kit I looked at. Plastic is a little bit greasy, mainly a little bit of a wash, but not bad. A little bit dense, but not terrible. Pretty good. There isn't anything really in the way of flash, but I would be surprised if there was, because this is effectively a new tooling. Granted, it's 2 years old at this point, so it hasn't seen that much in the way of production runs. But yeah, pretty nice still to look at again for a second time. We have our smaller details, which are molded to a good quality, but there's no flash on here. Ejector pin marks as well don't seem to be on visible surfaces, which is good. And the sprue E, which is pretty much the same kind of deal. Detail on that is pretty nice. And sprue B, which is the last one here, there is a little bit of flash creeping in on here, which will need cleaning up, if you can see that there. This wasn't present from my recollection, at least I don't remember it being present on my original version, but that's manageable. I think you can trim that away. That's the first bit of flash I've seen, so it's not too bad. We do have some slight mold marks here, like where the flow has gone in and it's cooled, but the surface doesn't have any imperfections that I've spotted, nothing too major at least. And this brings us to this last sprue. This is the extra one. This is one that I don't recognize from my original boxing, which has our lower side with our extra window, and some other small components, and I think these are the little proby things that go on the bottom of the wing. So that's the difference between the other version and this version. I think what we are not seeing in this boxing is the big gun. There was like a big gun for the old version, because it had like a 37mm gun or something like that, which I don't remember seeing in this one. I'll just do a quick check just to make sure. So there's weapons there. Those are the normal cannons which are installed. Oh, hello. Oh, wait. Yeah, so those are the normal cannons which come sort of as standard in the nose of the aircraft. Yeah, and the other one, the A1, I think it was, version that we looked at previously, had another sprue of big guns on it. So that's the difference. This sprue here is the difference here. These are the new parts that have been included. But yeah, so that's it. That's the kit. I enjoyed building up the Me410 when I had a go at it last year. It was all right to build. I had a nice time. I built it all in Humbrol colours, which was an experience in itself. So yeah, this isn't a bad kit, and you get two paint schemes to choose from. And if you've not had a go at the Me410 before, I would recommend it because it was quite good fun. So yeah, let's recap what we got in this year's boxing. We had the Me410 in 1/72 scale with a limited edition choice of one of these paint schemes. I'll probably go for that one. It's not an old tooling, it's relatively new, and it's up to the modern standards that we expect from Airfix, so it's pretty good. We had a door hanger, which is either welcome or do not disturb. We had stickers. We had our passport to send off our coupons if we wanted to get more kits. We had a welcome letter. We had a keyring. We had a pin badge. And we had a poster. Not, of course, forgetting that if you are a member of the club, you will get quarterly magazines, either electronically or in the post if you're in the UK only. And also you get 10% discount off the website. So with that in mind, how much does the club cost? Well, at the moment I'm making this video, to join the club in the UK, it's £35. And in the UK, if you pay that £35, you get your membership for 12 months, plus also you get this that you've seen here in the red box sent physically to you. If you do not live in the UK, you have to buy the membership for £15, and then if you want the red boxing, you have to then buy that again for another £25. So it's slightly more if you live overseas, but I think that comes down to the postage and packaging issues that Airfix have. So you're effectively doing that. You're effectively paying for that element. You're paying for that postage. So, you know, some people don't see the value in it. I know that if you live overseas, you don't get, or at least I think you don't get the physical copies of the quarterly magazine. That's only sent to you as like a PDF, so you can download it and view it. So if you're overseas, this may not have the same value as it might do to someone who lives in the UK. But again, you need to ask yourself, what is the real value here for me? Personally, I only get the club to get the limited edition kit, and I mean, £35 for a kit. I think the original version of this kit was like £25. So I'm spending an extra £10 to get all these extra little bits and pieces, as well as those magazines and a discount in the shop if I decide to use it. Obviously, you can shop wherever you like. You don't have to shop just on Airfix's website. So, you know, take with that how you want to take it. The value can be quite subjective to the individual person. The good thing, I think, is that the prices of the club kit hasn't, or the club package rather, hasn't raised too much over the last few years, and it seems to be fairly consistent throughout. So, you know, the price that I paid last year is pretty much the same price I paid this year. And sometimes they'll even offer you a discount. If you have been a member before. I know I got like offered a discount, but they offered me the discount after I'd already resubscribed to the club. So you know, maybe it's worth, if you are a member of the club, waiting a week or two and after it expires, and to see if they'll send you a discount to rejoin. So yeah, just take that all with you know, in mind. Also, I would have been it was a little bit disappointing that some of the stuff didn't come in the kit when I ordered it, and I had to sort that out myself. So that was a bit annoying, but as mentioned, you know, they did fix it. And if you have a problem, make sure you contact the Airfix spares department. This kit looks really good. I'm not too fussed about the other stuff. So this is pretty much the main reason why I got this. And with that, I think it's probably time to wrap this one up here. I've been a member of the Airfix Club for a while now, and I was in the past as well, back in my very beginning days of modelling. So it does feel a bit more like it's a tradition, but sometimes whilst they do offer some nice stuff, they do kind of repeat what they produce on this respect. So it would be interesting to see things mixed up a little bit. And I do know that people do ask to see other things than just aircraft, because I have been a member of the club now since 2020 when they revamped it and re-released it, and we've only seen 1/72nd scale aircraft to the best of my recollection. Some of them have been better than others, and this is probably one of the better offerings this year. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think of my review of the club package for 2025 and if my assessment of this product was fair. As always, I'd like to give my Model Club members a quick shout out. Massive thanks to these guys on screen for the extra support they give me. If you'd like to join them or support the channel in other ways, full information is below the video. The best way to support this channel for free though is by subscribing with notifications turned on so you never miss a modelling upload. Finally though, last thing to say is a massive thank you to you for watching this one, and I'll see you on the workbench again next time.